Free speech rights are not only being restricted on social media and streaming services, but also in American high schools. In Plainwell, Michigan, a 16-year-old junior was suspended recently for sharing his Christian faith in private text messages, also at his school locker. Now he's suing the school to have the suspension stricken from his record and to get his reputation back. Well, joining us from Plainwell, Michigan, is student David Stout and his lawyer, David Coleman, of the Great Lakes Justice Center. Thank you both for being with us. So, David, let's start with you, David Stout. We don't have time to go into all of this, but what were you texting at home and also saying at your locker that got you in trouble?
Well, at home, I had a private text conversation where my friend asked me what my views were on homosexual conduct, and I responded in a biblical way. At school, it would have been anything political, religious, or any normal talk that students might have in the hallway, and it was with people that were like-minded. They didn't have a problem with it.
And I know you're a committed Christian. You had 3 meetings with school officials. So what did the principal say to you when you were suspended for 3 days?
Well, they said that what I had done had made kids feel unsafe in school. They had chosen to skip class and sit in the office instead of come to band. And because of that, it was a disruption to the learning environment, and that's why they punished me.
And I understand that you asked the principal, where can I practice my faith? Where can I speak freely about my faith? What did he tell you?
Well, he said that there's 2 cases where I could speak what I wanted to speak. I could either speak it with a teacher mediating the conversation, or behind a closed, locked door with another person, and that person is a like-minded individual.
And David Coleman, can high school administrators limit their students' private speech, text messages at home or in a school hallway? And if they're not being disruptive, can they do that?
Generally speaking, no, Gary. There are a couple of exceptions, obviously. If somebody were to make a true threat, I'm going to blow up the school or shoot up the school or something, obviously they can take action. Or if there's some sort of speech going on among a lot of the kids at the school and it spills over into the school so that there's a disruption, there's a sit-in, there's a protest, or there's some kind of action like that happening that disrupts the school, then theoretically they can take some action to stop that kind of speech. But neither of those things apply here. So the bottom line is they're just trying to regulate everyday common speech of the students, and that's unconstitutional.
And to tell a student to keep their faith at home or behind closed doors, it seems there's also a religious discrimination aspect to this as well, David. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely, which is why we filed the federal 1983 action in federal court for a violation of our client's civil rights, that the school is acting under color of state law as a government entity to deprive our client of his civil rights and constitutional protection. So that's why we filed the lawsuit we did.
David, David Stout, have they ever regulated speech from gay kids or other kids in the school?
I've been told by those kids that yes, the same principals have said the same things to them, that they can't voice their own opinions about gay rights, or they can't voice their anti-religious comments if it could potentially harm another student emotionally because they disagree with them.
And what do you want to see happen, David Stout? And as a Christian, do you have forgiveness here or hard feelings, bitterness?
Well, no, I don't have hard feelings. And for the band directors, though they may have handled the situation poorly, I don't want them to not have their job anymore. I would like for them to be disciplined, learn from their mistakes, and continue on. And the principals, it would be great if they could also do the same. And what I really want to see from them is that they stop limiting the speech, they admit that they're wrong, and set an example for other schools of what you should do to handle these situations, to teach these kids that though you can have disagreements, you can still move past that and handle it as an adult.
Do you forgive them, David?
I do.
Our thanks to David Stout and David Coleman. CBN News contacted the Plainwell Community School District. Officials refused to comment, and understandably so, due to the filing of the lawsuit. Folks, these are our basic First Amendment rights on trial here. We cannot allow faith and speech to be tethered to our homes.